Conrad's news station.
It looks like another stop along the way.
But this resting spot near Conrad brings stability the city has been in search of for years. Go inside the multi-million-dollar addition today at 5:30. Thanks for joining us today on KRTV. We have a developing story coming from Hill 57 just within the last 10 minutes.
That's right. There's a fire on Hill 57. Crews from Black Eagle, Sand Coulee, and Vaughn among those dispatched. You can see it here on our U.S. Bank iCam. Reports of a fire the size of a football field and growing, and they also said it was headed towards the city. This is the third fire since July 4th, and we have a crew there to get more information as it becomes available.
And this is a live look at the iCam. About 5 minutes ago, it did look like a large fire. If the iCam is pointing in the right direction, I mean, if we're looking at what we think we are looking at those crews, it looks like they have made quite a bit of headway already at this point, which is good news. We will keep you updated at KRTV.com.
Well, just a few minutes ago, strong winds were helping to spread that fire.
Storm Tracker meteorologist Mike Rollins joins us now. Mike, tell us more about those winds in Great Falls right now.
Well, we've seen wind gusts around the area today, 50 to 60 miles per hour in Great Falls. It hasn't been that strong, and thankfully right now you look at this wind gust map and we are missing a lot of numbers. That's because we've dropped below 15 mile per hour gusts. Still getting some occasional gusts up around 20 to 30 miles per hour in the Electric City. Temperatures right now 41 in Great Falls, a little bit cooler up on the High Line. Of course, this time of the year it is not uncommon to see these wildfires start up, especially when we don't have a snowpack on the ground, dry conditions, and gusty winds. We'll talk about a chance for rain and snow coming up.
All right, thanks, Mike. Great Falls City Commissioners are one step closer to choosing Commissioner Mary Jolly's replacement.
The 32 applicants were narrowed down to just 8 finalists this morning. The decision was made by Mayor Michael Winters and Commissioners Bob Jones, Bill Bronson, and Fred Burrow. They each named their top finalists based on applications, then they narrowed it down to the 8 who were named the most. The finalists include Gretchen Swift. She is the owner of Floors and More Abbey Carpets, also served as the president of Women in Construction and AYSO Soccer. Karen Heisler is the Asset Development Director for Rural Dynamics Incorporated. She has experience working for the state of Montana in financial services and banking.
Roland Lighthizer ran for City Commission back in 2009. He's semi-retired and has served on boards for a water and sewer district and for city-county planning. Bob McNamee previously owned Baker Bob's. He's now a substitute teacher.
Kenny Volk owns Kenny's Downtown Convenience Store. He is on Neighborhood Council 7 and has also been on the Police Advisory Board. Karen Grove is a trust officer and assistant vice president for Davidson Trust Companies. She is the chair of Neighborhood Council 8.
Bob Kelly is now retired from his job as managing director at D.A. Davidson. He serves on the PTA board at Lincoln Elementary and he volunteers for the Special Olympics. Mark Smith is an attorney who has served in Leadership Great Falls Ski Patrol, and the Cascade Bar Association.
Commissioners say they were impressed with all of the applicants and are looking forward to getting to know the 8 better.
The finalists will go through a 45-minute interview with the commissioners.
One of the things is, resumes tell us part of the story. Interviews will tell us a lot more. And I think as we go forward, we expect to learn probably a lot more about these folks than what they've written about themselves on paper.
And the date of the interviews has not yet been determined. Commissioners mentioned they would like to see another woman fill the spot, but they'll focus more on what kind of experience each applicant brings to the table. Whoever is selected to fill Jolly's seat will serve for at least a year. If they want to retain the seat, they'll have to run in the 2013 city election.
Republican candidate for Superintendent of Public Instruction Sandy Welch officially files for a recount.
It's the first statewide recount since 2000. Welch is trailing Democratic incumbent Denise Juneau by 2,200 votes, and this is within the 0.5% margin the state allows for a recount.
There are so many errors and items that are happening across Montana that there are a lot of concerns about the integrity of the election and particularly being so close, less than 0.5% apart, that those errors start accumulating and can really change the outcome of this election. And we also want to make sure that we have a really high degree of integrity in our election system. So it's worth the cost.
Welch will pay for the recount, estimated at a cost of $115,000.
Some of the money has come from local donors. Some of it is coming from the Republican National Committee.
Well, a milestone more than 10 years in the making is cause for celebration in the city of Conrad today.
KRTV's Jen Fenter takes us to the new rest area to find out how this $4 million addition is already helping the community.
It's an exciting day for everybody in Conrad.
The community gathered Monday morning to celebrate the newest addition to the area.
But it's the work below the surface that has city staff looking forward to the town's future.
The whole prospect of developing over here has been coming for a long time, and this just has enabled us to move the development forward.
Since 2002, Conrad has been looking for ways to expand. To make the rest stop a reality, city sewer and water had to be extended east, giving drivers indoor conveniences and the community the tools they need to entice new business and grow.
We have 7 lots in the industrial park. We have 6 of 7 of them under current buy-sell. And what I guess my hope is that those develop sooner than later. That would be the greatest thing.
While the facility helps the city kick off the expansion east of the interstate, the $4,120,000 budget allowed for a top-of-the-line, user-friendly building.
This facility is state-of-the-art. It is absolutely perfect. Windows that have thermostats on them that'll open and close. We also capture roof water for our plants. We have absolutely the lowest consumption facilities in the country that we can possibly do.
Johnson says this facility will see high traffic, but should stand for the next 50 years and possibly longer. Welcome news for the community.
I think great things can happen here, and I think they will.
In Conrad, Jen Fenter, MTN News.
The new rest area serves as a replacement for one that's 20 miles south. Johnson says that one stood for nearly 60 years and outlasted its useful life.
Those who take a multitude of medications had a chance to get some help from the pros in managing all those prescriptions. Benefice pharmacists and other volunteers provided free one-on-one consultations during their Benefice Brown Bag medication review. Visitors learned how the drugs they take may interact with each other, as well as how to find medications at lower costs and how to take them in a safe and effective manner. They stressed keeping your doctor up to date on all the medications you take, because even vitamins, herbal products, and other over-the-counter medications impact prescribed medications.
I think it's good for them to know what they're taking, why they're taking it, whether there are possible harmful side effects, harmful interactions.
And volunteers were also on hand checking people's blood pressure and helping them with other health questions.
Montana troops preparing for deployment in Afghanistan are going through a rigorous training at Fort Hood, Texas.
MTN's Melissa Anderson was with the troops last week. Tonight she explores the mental health side of the deployment preparation.
Ready? Fighter stance. Up.
As members of the Montana National Guard's 495th Support Battalion prepare to deploy to Afghanistan this month, they're not only learning how to protect themselves during combat, but also how to wrap their minds around their mission.
Once you find out you're going to mobilize, we put some additional pieces in there. There's some mental resiliency training that soldiers get, just so they can deal with the bigger burden mentally.
The hundreds of miles of training grounds in Fort Hood, Texas are used to simulate what the soldiers will be facing in Afghanistan, including the detonation of roadside bombs. It's estimated that 10% of the troops coming home will suffer from some sort of traumatic brain injury or PTSD due to the explosions.
And we're averaging to this day approximately 14 days till they have a neurological exam and either a diagnosis or no diagnosis.
Sergeant First Class Adam Bell has been deployed 3 times before.
I was injured in August 2005 by a roadside bomb, and I went through the process just like thousands of soldiers have, and proof that the system worked.
After surgery and some counseling, Bell says he received support not only from his family, but from the VA.
It's been 7 years now, and so it's been fun. It's been a fantastic journey, quite honestly.
Over time, they've always said that 70% of healing is in the mind.
They can go talk to the chaplain, and that's a private discussion that stays private.
Just like debriefing after a major disaster, the soldiers need help in dealing with trauma during their mission.
The governor, the adjutant general put a clear focus that we're going to take care of the soldiers after they get back and help reintegrate them, and we're going to put as many efforts there as was done to get ready to deploy.
In Fort Hood, Texas, Melissa Anderson, MTN News.
A new way to promote safety in the downtown area will also help the homeless find the resources they need. The city of Great Falls is launching a new campaign called Coins for a Cause. Jars will be set up at downtown businesses, encouraging citizens to donate. Then the money will go to nonprofits that directly help the homeless. When someone donates, they'll be given a business card to pass on to panhandlers, listing a variety of resources where they can receive help.
Sometimes people are intimidated with panhandlers and don't know what to do. So if they have a card and a way to say, hey, I really am concerned about you, but here's a way you can get direct services, people feel better than just giving out money where they're not sure how that money is going to be spent. This way we know that it's going to be used successfully by that nonprofit.
Bronson says the program has worked successfully in many other communities across the country. This year, all the money raised will go to the rescue mission. All right, the nature of live local news. We had a call that fire departments were going to a football-sized fire shortly after 5:20. Yeah. Now, that was on Hill 57, northwest side of Great Falls. Now we are told that fire is out. Thank goodness those winds are not what they were last night.
Winds are starting to die down. They'll continue to do so in the next couple of hours. You know, the other big story, how mild it's been.
Right.
Not really feeling like December out there. Temperatures today made it into the 40s, close to 50 degrees. The average for this time of the year is 36 in Great Falls. No rain today, but we do have the chance for rain and snow on the way. We'll talk about it next in Storm Tracker weather.